Hey, it's Amber with Control Your Money, and I am back with my mommy.
Hi,
Her name is
Pam.
and we're here with another Mommy and Me Money chat. And today we want to talk about financial integrity. But just before we get to that, I want to talk about, and let me show y'all where we're shooting. We are at Robert Ingram Park in Opelika, Florida. It's a beautiful park. Very, very beautiful. Let me hurry up so I don't take all the time for the video, but it's a very, very beautiful park. And before we get into integrity, I would like to touch on something that we talked about in our last video, which is financial stability. So I mentioned that my mom is financially stable and I'm financially stable. We're very grateful for that, especially in this current environment we're living in. But financial stability is not rich or wealth. It doesn't have to be rich or wealth. And I want to be very clear on that because at Control Your Money, I'm not here to help anybody get rich or wealthy because I'm not rich or wealthy. And in case you don't know, wealthy is you got all the money in the world. Rich, you getting there. But like wealth is generations and generations of money. I'm not there yet. And I'm not trying to sell anybody a story on how to get rich or wealthy. I don't know that information to give to you, but what I can help you do is get financially stable. So I just want to be very clear on that. We're regular people. We live very humble lives. We are able to afford the lives that we live, to pay for our homes. I'm able to pay for my car. We're able to put a little money aside for rainy days. We're able to do some of the things that we like to do, like living where I had at a park, enjoying ourselves, relaxing, and we're able to do that because we're financially stable. So just want to be very clear on that. If you're looking to get rich or wealthy, you're going to have to find somebody else to listen to. All right. With that said, there was a story that my mom told me. It was something that was happening when I was a small child, but at that time I didn't know it was happening. But years later, and over the years since, my mom has told me the story of a story that relates to financial integrity. So I wanted her to share that story with you all because it's been very critical to how I think about money, how I behave with money, and how I treat people and their money. So,
Well, hello. I told her a story about when I was really struggling. That there was a friend of mine that actually the Lord directed me to ask for money. I was very reluctant to do that, but at that time, I was hearing the voice that told me to go. And I went to the person, and he was very receptive to my needs and what I needed to do. And he understood what I was going through. So,
needed to do meaning what? Borrow money?
meaning to borrow money, yes,
Okay.
to borrow money. So, he gave me the money on several occasions, and each time I paid him back. Sometimes it would be back to back loans. I pay him back and then need it right back. But I always made sure to pay him back his money. And he was one day told me that this was the reason why he loaned it to me. He loaned money to many people and never heard back from them. Not even that, it's gonna come at a later date. No, no words, nothing. That was one person, and the second person was a friend of mine who he came from his country to. He was here for some time, and he loaned me some money. He went back to his country. I put the money aside, waiting on him to come back, and he had run into some unfortunate circumstances in that particular country, natural disaster, and was not able to come back. So I didn't know he wasn't going to come back for that amount of time, but I reached out to his parents. I sent them the money that I borrowed from their son, and wrote in a letter to him to thank him, and that I understood he wasn't coming back. So years passed. I mean, years passed from that time. He came back, um, came to my work site one day, and I didn't even really know him because he had been exposed to radiation uh, due to the natural disaster or man-made disaster, whatever happened. But he came to thank me, He said his parents had given him the money, and he just thought it just blew his mind because so many years had passed, and he had even forgotten about it himself. But he said that showed integrity, and he wanted to come and see me, but he also wanted to come and thank me. So that's something I've always done. If I borrow money, even if I can't pay it back, when I tell you that I'm going to pay it back, I will come to you and let you know that, not to just disappear and pretend like it didn't happen. So that was something that kept me on the right track. Also, my dad, he created a situation where he moved out our house. I was there with him. He got married, and so my sister moved in with me, and we had to pay rent. We were young. We were both struggling families, and he would always say, the amount that I'm charging you, you won't find out in the street if you were to go and rent a property. But he was also showing us that he would come and spread his paycheck, that he'd get cash and just money all over the table. Our eyes would get big looking at all this money. And then he put our money up there with his money. And he was showing us that we have to pay, we have to be responsible in life.
He had his own money.
He had his own money. He didn't need our money. But he was doing it to show us, to give us that practice that we would need out in the real world. And that's a lesson that I am forever grateful that he did. I didn't like it at the time. It didn't feel good at all because I was just starting to get where I could save something. And then he came with that, and I was like, oh boy, here we go again, But it's a life lesson that really helped me out.
So it was very important for me to get her to tell y'all that story because, like I said, she's told me the story over the years, and I've really taken it to heart in terms of borrowing and paying back, having integrity around that process. You never know who you're going to need help from, and you don't want to walk up to people and ask them for money, and they've heard from somebody else that you are not a person that pays back your debts, and then now you're stuck. Or you also don't want to borrow money from somebody that you're going to need to borrow from again. You don't know your circumstances. You don't know what your circumstances will be. So having integrity around that process is very important. She got something else you want to say?
And also about credit cards and student loans. Student loans, I don't care if it was $1 million, I was going to pay $1 million back to the government because I used that money. Credit cards, you use that money. You borrowed that money. It helped you out for what it helped you out for, but that's not free money. You borrowed it, you pay it back. This is how you build up your credit as well. When you go to buy a house or a home and they look at your credit score and it's not there, it's going to be difficult for you to get any kind of loan when you're in a situation.
Excuse me, I have to take it back because we about to be interrupted by somebody showed up with a jet ski. But also, I have a video that I'm going to be doing around credit. So,
okay,
I guess I can involve you in that conversation. That was going to be a solo, but
yeah,
she want to talk about it too.
To be a solo,
that's fine. That's fine. Okay, so I just wanted to really get on here and make sure that y'all heard about integrity, because for me, lack of integrity around money can actually be a money block, can be something like a invisible barrier to money coming to you, because money doesn't trust you. Money needs to trust you in order to come to you. It needs to feel that you will do the right thing with it. So if you don't have integrity around money, it will run away from you. Okay, we want to open up all the avenues for money to come in.
Come money.
And live with us and be happy with us. So that's it for today's Mommy and Me Money Chat. Until next time.
Bye.
Until next time.
Control your money.
Bye.